We return,
We return,
we return,
we return.
we return, return again. We return,
We return,
we return,
we return.
we return, return again and again.
Welcome, everybody. Woo! We can be informal. This is a made-up ritual, which we love. But it is a way to get us ready for these high holy days, and it is clearly a tradition that is fun and enduring. We welcome everybody here. We have our teachers who are here for teacher orientation, madrichim for madrichim orientation. We have people who came for workshops to learn, people from the congregation just for the shofar on the roof, and we have members of our wider community who are going on a tour of the houses of worship along Summit Avenue. Everyone is welcome to that as well, beginning at 12:45. So this is a time for us to prepare, and as some of you might remember, it's a time for a little more levity. So I wanted to just recall this moment I heard last year around Hanukkah, where a woman went to the post office. She had her Hanukkah letters to mail, and she wanted to get her Hanukkah stamps. And the postal clerk said, "Fine, ma'am, I'm happy to get you your Hanukkah stamps. 50 of them, right?" She goes, "Yes." "What denomination?" Oy vey, has it come to this? Fine, I'll have 6 Orthodox, 12 conservative, 32 Reform. I'm going to keep going. There's Saul Epstein was taking an oral exam in English as a second language class. He was asked to spell the word cultivate, and he spelled it correctly. And then they said, "Please use the word cultivate in a sentence." He gave a big smile, and he said, "Well, last winter on a very cold day, I was waiting for a bus, but it was too cultivate, so I took the subway."
You gotta give him your own laugh track.
A rabbi was approaching a guest in shul and says, "I would love to give you an aliyah," which means to give you an honor, to be called to the Torah. Just tell me your name. And the man said, "Sure, it's Esther ben Moshe." And he goes, the rabbi was a little confused. I said, "No, I need to know what your name is." He goes, "Esther ben Moshe." Was I unclear? And the man says, well, and the rabbi's wondering, like, how is this your name? I don't understand. He goes, "Well, I'm having a little financial trouble, so now everything is in my wife's name." All right, a story. Once upon a time, there was a man living in Hastings, and he had a bad habit. He gossiped about people. Not a good thing. He would go around hearing little bits of stories and then embellishing them and going from person to person. One night, he was having a dream, and a big hand was coming down, pointing its finger at this man. And he wakes up in a start, and he starts feeling really guilty. So he comes to St. Paul, and he meets the rabbi, and he says, "Rabbi, I have a problem. I'm gossiping. I don't know what I need to do, but I am so sorry." And the rabbi says, "Well, I want you to go home, and you have a pillow on your bed, right?" He goes, "Yes." "I want you to go to your roof, and I want you to take a knife, and I want you to cut open that pillow and let the feathers fly everywhere and come back to me." And so
He didn't tell him to go get an egg, though. That's a reference to last year. You can ask somebody.
And so he went home, and feathers started flying everywhere, all over Rabbi Adler.
Here, dump it over. No, pull it. Dump it. Just dump it.
These are fake feathers, no worries. No birds were harmed in the making of the story. Went back to the rabbi and said, Rabbi, now I did what you said. What am I supposed to do now? Now go collect all the feathers. But that's impossible, the man said. Exactly. And so too with gossip. Once the feathers are out there, it is impossible to reclaim all the harm that was done. And so now we turn to a serious note and say that on Yom Kippur, a quarter, 25% of all the sins we confess are sins of our lips, of our language, our words, and we need to be careful. So this is a reminder to be careful and discriminate with all the words that we are saying. And we have a way to wake up to this moment, and that is through the shofar.
In a moment, you're going to hear shofar from the roof, our beautiful shofar. We were having a conversation earlier. Are they shofar blowers? Are they shofar players? Are they, in Hebrew, it's a Baal Tekiah. They are Tekiah masters. In a moment, you'll hear our Tekiah, our shofar masters. And for many of us, it will evoke the feelings of the high holy days. And we are hearing the shofar here in St. Paul on the roof. It's very, very current. It's a brand new old tradition, 3 years old. But I want you to reverse the train a bit in your imagination. Take yourselves back and further back and further back. We are now at the ancient temple in Jerusalem. And it's time to call the people to pray from wherever they are for Yom Kippur. You're at the ancient temple. It's on the hill in Jerusalem. Beautiful. If you've ever been in Jerusalem at sunset, it's gorgeous. We're there now. They heard the same sound you're going to hear. And from there, back up your train even more, even more, even more, backwards through the desert of Sinai to Mount Sinai. And the very first time our people received words of Torah, and the shofar call was heard at that moment. The blast of the shofar was the sound the people heard at the moment they received Torah, at the moment we received Torah. We were there. Our tradition teaches that we all stood together at Sinai. We were there at the temple, and here we are again on our patio at Mount Zion to hear our shofar calls. Tekiah.
Shvarim.
Teruah.
Tekiah Gedolah.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu Vanenu, Ki ein Banu Masim, Aseh Imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh Imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, ve'hoshienu, Aseh Imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh Imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, והושיענו. אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, חוננו בנינו, כי אין בנו מעשים.
Amen. So, despite the meaning of my story, I would love all the feathers to be picked up before we leave today. Let all who have sinned pick up a feather. So that not yet, but if you could help us out, that'd be great. By the way, who remembers that story from the movie Doubt? Great Christian movie about a priest and everything else, but in this movie, the priest is telling and it's about a father telling the story, and I'm like, wait, that's a Jewish story. Anyhow, so I want to tell a few announcements about where we're going from here. If you are a teacher or one of our madrichim, we invite you to go back inside through those doors there to Johnson immediately after this. If you are here for our House of Worship tour, and everyone is welcome, you're welcome to go into our sanctuary for an orientation about Mount Zion and our history before you head out to other houses of worship. And you'll go through these doors, and members of the congregation, if you can help point people the way to the sanctuary, if you can help us out in that way, that would be great. What is happening on Friday? Rosh Hashanah. That was too long of a pause. Okay. So we invite you to come to our Summit Avenue entrance, and there you'll get, when you come to your first service, whether in the evening or the morning, you'll get your name tag outside. If you are a guest and want to have a name tag, just be in touch with us during the week, and then you'll keep that name tag for the rest of the time. If you are coming on the morning for like our study sessions or any service, plan on at least 15 minutes to get from Summit Avenue entrance to wherever you're going, because you're going to be connecting to people, but especially we have a study session at 10 o'clock on Rosh Hashanah morning, Saturday morning. It'll take you a while to get there, so please get here early. Take your time so that you have time for that. Lastly, because of keeping our air circulated inside well, it will be a little cooler than usual or hotter than usual, one of the two. But bring a sweater just to make sure that in case you will be chilly, to bring a sweater. Yes. Chazak ve'ematz, be strong and of good courage, and Shana Tova, let us sing, L'Shana Tova Tikatevu.
לשנה טובה תיכתבו, לשנה טובה תיכתבו, תיכתבו, תיכתבו.
Shana Tova.
שנה טובה. Pick up a feather.
Yeah. I practiced it too. Throwing off feathers.
No, but it was windy.
I know. It was just,